Valmiki Ramayana, Ayodhya Kanda, Book number 2, Sarga 41, Roman numerals XLI 41. The Citizens' Lament. The lion chief, with hands upraised, was born from eyes that fondly gazed. But then the lady's bower was rent with cries of weeping and lament. Where goes he now, our Lord, the sure protector of the friendless poor, in whom the wretched and the weak defense and aid were wont to seek? All words of wrath he turned aside, and ne'er, when cursed, in ire replied. He shared his people's woe and stilled the troubled breast which rage had filled. Our chief, on lofty thoughts intent, in glorious fame preeminent, as on his own dear mother thus, he ever looked on each of us. Where goes he now, his sire's behest, by Queen Kaike's guile distressed? He banished too the forest hence, has banished too the forest hence, him who was all the world's defense. Ah, senseless king, to drive away the hope of men, their guard and stay, to banish to the distant wood Rama, the duteous, true, and good. The royal dames, like cows bereaved of their young calves, thus sadly grieved. The monarch heard them as they wailed, and by the fire of grief assailed. For his dear son he bowed his head, and all his sense and memory fled. Then were no fires of worship fed, thick darkness o'er the sun was spread. The cows their thirsty calves denied, and elephants flung their food aside. Trishanku, Jupiter, looked dread, and Mercury and Mars the red in direful opposition met. The glory of the moon beset. The lunar stars withheld their light. The planets were no longer bright, but meteors with their horrid glare and dire Vishakhas lit the air. As troubled ocean heaves and raves, when doom's wild tempest sweeps the waves. Thus all Ayodhya reeled and bent, when Rama to the forest went. And chilling grief and dark despair fell suddenly on all men there. Their wonted pastime all forgot, nor thought of food, or touched it not. Crowds in the royal street were seen, with weeping eye and troubled mien. No more a people, gay and glad, each had the heart, was sick and sad. Each head and heart was sick and sad. No more the cool wind softly blew, no the moon no more was fair to view. No more the sun, with genial glow, cherished the world, now plunged in woe. Sons, brothers, husbands, wedded wives, forgot the ties that joined their lives. No thought for kith and kin was spared, but all for only Rama cared. And Rama's friends, who loved him best, their minds disordered and distressed by the great burden of their woes, turned not to slumber or repose. Like earth with all her hills bereft of Indra's guiding care, Ayodhya in her sorrow left by him the high-souled heir, was bowed by fear and sorrow's force, and shook with many a throe, while warrior, elephant, and horse sent up the cry of woe. Beautiful. Footnotes. One 1. 30 centuries have passed since he began this memorable journey. Every step of it is known and is annually traversed by thousands. Hero worship is not extinct. What can faith do? How strong are the ties of religion when entwined with the legends of a country? How many a cart keeps creeping and weary along the road from Ayodhya to Chitrakoot. It is this that gives the Ramayana a strange interest. The story still lives. Calcutta Review, Volume 23. What a bunch of bullshit. Straight from dirty, foolish Indians. To this very day, they consider all of the Vedas, literally all of the Vedas, including Ramayana and Mahabharata, a mythology. Indians themselves, they have no respect even for their own culture. To this very day, they call it mythology. It is absolutely mind-boggling to see this bullshit. First of all, it is not 30 centuries ago. It happened 1.5 million years ago. Ramayana happened long time ago. Second of all, it's not a hero worship. It's the worship of God. When God himself comes and walks this earth to exhibit his unsurpassed pastimes, transcendental eternal pastimes. When he comes and when he walks this earth, he is exhibiting unparalleled, unsurpassed pastimes. Okay, this is what God does. It's not some hero worship, some whatever. Okay, it's the worship of God Himself when He walked this earth to exhibit those pastimes. And what is the purpose of those pastimes? So people can remember Him rather than some karmis, some demons who like to misinterpret God's pastimes. That's the whole purpose of God's pastimes. But we have these unscrupulous people who just misinterpret Ramayana and make it as if it is some mythology and just some people worship some hero who went to the forest. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Okay, Ramayana is not a story about some hero. Ramayana is the story of God when God walked this earth. God Himself. He exhibited His beautiful, transcendental, eternal pastimes for the purpose of attracting conditioned souls back to Him. That's Ramayana. Okay. Absolutely disgusting. Indians themselves consider these legends, mythology, some hero worship. They have no idea to this very day who God is. They're literally to this very day worshipping Shiva's dick, Shiva Lingam, and they believe this is their God. Anyway, Ramayana ki Jai, Jai Shri Ram, Roma Victa. Ciao.